Here it is, day 3 of a 9-day dry fast. That means I am a little more than 72 hours, coming up on 80 hours into a 9-day period in which I drink no water and eat no food. You heard that right. Eat no food, which is what a lot of people do when fasting, but this is also drinking no water, which is called a dry fast and sometimes also called a total fast. It means that nothing goes into my mouth, nothing goes down my throat from outside my body other than the air that I'm breathing. And yes, I'm already well past 3 days. No, going for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 9 days, 10 days without water doesn't kill you. This technique, called dry fasting or total fasting, is one of the most ancient spiritual techniques. And I decided that during this dry fast, which will be my longest one of the year, God willing, at 9 days, I will make a video on day 3, then on day 6, and then on day 9, either as I'm breaking the fast or just shortly after breaking the fast, so as to document this experience of dry fasting for those who might find it useful. Now, I know how to prepare for dry fasting. I know what foods to eat and not to eat. I know how to consume liquids, and there is some technique to a total fast, to doing it well, especially if it's longer than 3 days. There's really some technique then. And even more than that, there's technique required to properly break a long dry fast. If you're going for a day or two, doesn't matter so much. But if you're going longer than 3 days, then the technique of how to prepare for it, how to break it, that's all pretty important. But why in the world would somebody abstain from food and water for 9 days? Simply put, there are numerous and profound health benefits and spiritual benefits. That is to say, this benefits both the body and the soul, especially when it comes to developing self-control. There's nothing quite as powerful in the direction of developing the virtue of self-control as the technique of a total fast, fasting from food and water. This is the most powerful spiritual tool that we have on the physical level, which is to say there are more powerful tools, but on the level of the body, this is the most powerful one. It also has numerous health benefits, and if you want to know more about what are the benefits, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. But the reason I'm making this video is so that you understand semen retention or sexual continence for men is a beginning point that puts a man in the direction of the possibility of spiritual growth. According to Gurdjieff, who gives a nice encapsulation of that path for men, semen retention or male sexual continence is just the beginning for a man moving in the direction of his highest good spiritually. Then he has to wed that state of sexual continence to conscious labor and intentional suffering. Conscious labor means to work with love and attention at the work to which you were called. That could be the work of prayer. It could be any literal work that you do in life, whether that's playing the piano or writing books or tap dancing or building fences or what have you. So conscious labor is necessary to move towards spiritual perfection, and so is something called intentional suffering, which means taking on a difficulty intentionally, voluntarily, not involuntarily. This includes things like fasting, denying oneself both food and water is the most powerful physical technique for spiritual development. And once again, in the context of sexual continence, conscious labor and intentional suffering can begin to have true spiritual benefits. Of course, this must be done with the right motives, both on the physical and spiritual level. Physical health and spiritual renewal are both correct motives, and they should be taken together. I will add, one of the most important ancient traditions in connection with fasting is to couple it with almsgiving. That would be an intentional suffering, intentionally giving some of your money up to a poor person or to a spiritual work is a very, very, very powerful thing when combined with fasting for both physical and spiritual healing. So thanks for watching and listening. Like I said, here I am at just over 3 days into this 9-day dry fast, and you can look for another video from me on day 6, God willing, although I may not have as much voice then, because extended dry fasting does come with some drawbacks with respect to the strength of the voice. But I should be able to talk long enough to make a video, at least, even on day 6. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments, and I'll be glad to reply to you. Thanks very much for watching. Till next time.